Welcome to Phase 1, Lesson 2. Dockerfiles, building your own image. Yesterday you ran an image someone else built. Today you build your own. This is where I can use Docker becomes I can ship with Docker. The mental model. A Dockerfile is a recipe written as a list of instructions. Each line adds one layer on top of the previous. The final image is a stack of layers. Here is the stack. At the bottom, from Python 3.12 Slim, start from a base. Next, worker app, where to sit. Then copy index.html, bring in your code. Then expose 8000, document the port. And at the top, CMD, how to start the app. Each line is a layer, stacked on the previous. You start from someone else's image, from, and add your own on top. That is why it is called a base image. You stand on the shoulders of a maintained, patched foundation, and only add what is yours. Time to build something real, a tiny web server. Create a folder and make 2 files. Do it in your Linux environment. Run dir, web-app, and change directory into it. Create file 1, index.html. Use cat, index.html. Paste the HTML and press Ctrl-D. This is the page your container will serve. Now create file 2, the Dockerfile. This is the recipe. From Python 3.12 Slim. Worker app. Copy index.html. Expose 8000. And cmd, python, -m, http.server, 8000. 5 lines. 5 layers. Let us go line by line. From is the base, a tiny official Python image, everything builds on it. Worker app makes app the current directory inside the image, everything after runs from there. Copy index.html copies your file from your machine into the image. Expose 8000 is documentation only. It says this image listens on port 8000, but it does not actually open the port, that is -p at runtime, a common confusion. And cmd is the only command that runs when the container starts. Each piece in quotes, list form, no shell needed. Now build it. Run docker build, -t, my web app v1. -t is the tag, name plus version. My -web-app is the name, v1 is the tag. And the dot means build from the current directory, using the Dockerfile here. Watch the output. Docker pulls the base image, then applies each instruction as a layer. You will see steps like 2 of 5, worker app. That is your recipe being followed, one layer at a time. Now run it. Docker run, -d, -p, 8000 to 8000, -name, my -web, and the image, my -web-app, v1. Then open localhost 8000 in your browser. Open localhost, port 8000. Your HTML page, served by a container you built. Congratulations. You just shipped software. That is the whole discipline in miniature. Code in, running container out. Now inspect what you built. Docker images shows your image, its size, and its tag. And Docker history, my web app v1, shows the layers. Each layer is one Dockerfile line. Docker history is a beautiful thing to look at once. And here is the magic. Docker history shows every layer of your image. Each row is one line from your Dockerfile. You will see your recipe as layers. The base image layers at the bottom, and your instructions on top. Now, why latest is a trap? Try this. Docker tag, my web app v1, my web app latest. Now Docker images shows 2 names for the same image. The danger is that in production, people get lazy and use latest. But latest is a moving target, a mutable pointer that gets overwritten whenever anyone pushes a new image with that name. Latest causes 2 problems. First, you cannot reproduce anything. What is actually deployed? Whichever version was tagged latest when it deployed. Terrible for rollbacks and debugging. Second, it breaks the GitOps promise you will learn in Phase 3. Git is the source of truth, but latest makes the deployed version unknowable. The professional rule. Never deploy by latest. Always use an immutable, specific tag. Version 1.0.0, a git commit SHA, or a date. So every deployment is exact and reproducible. Keep latest for local convenience only. Here is your exercise. Build the web app exactly as shown. Serve it at localhost 8000 and confirm your page renders. Run Docker history my web app v1. Read each layer and identify which Dockerfile line made it. Then change the text in index.html, Rebuild with docker build-t my web app v2. And start a second container on port 8001 running v2. Old and new running side by side. This is the seed of blue-green deployment, which you will meet for real much later. Bonus, to sharpen the mental model. Run docker exec-it my-web ls/app. See the file inside the image. Then docker exec my-web python -version. The app's own Python, not your laptop's. Let us recap. A Dockerfile is a recipe. Each line adds a layer. From is your base. Workers sets the directory. Copy brings in your code. Expose documents the port. CMD starts the app. Build with docker build-t. Run with docker run-p. Inspect with Docker history. And never deploy by latest. You went from using Docker to shipping with Docker. Great work.